Welcome to Our Times. Today, we're jumping right into something I think we all feel, even if we don't always think about why. The gut-brain connection. How food impacts mood.
It's fundamental, really.
Exactly. You know that feeling, right? You grab a really crisp, fresh salad for lunch, and afterwards you feel, well, light, focused, just good.
Yeah, ready to go.
Then compare that to, say, a heavy, greasy burger. Suddenly you're sluggish, maybe a bit irritable, your brain feels kind of foggy.
Definitely. We've all been there.
And the point is, that's not just random or all in your head. There's a real physical connection happening. What you eat genuinely affects your mood, your emotions, how sharp you feel.
And what's fascinating is how this idea bridges, ancient wisdom with what modern science is discovering right now.
Right. Systems like Ayurveda have talked about the gut being central for centuries.
Millennia, even. They saw the gut as the core, not just for digestion, but for mental and emotional balance, too. And now we have the research, the scientific language to explain how that works. It really shows how connected everything is.
It feels like science is catching up to intuition in a way. So let's talk about that science. What are these discoveries that are actually confirming these long-held ideas? What's going on inside when that burger makes you feel grumpy?
Okay, so the absolute core of it is the gut microbiome. Just picture your gut, right? It's this incredibly complex world, home to literally trillions of microorganisms, bacteria, mostly.
Trillions? Wow.
Yeah, it's a huge number. And these microbes aren't just hang out, they're super active, they're constantly producing stuff, including really important chemicals called neurotransmitters. These are vital for our mood.
Neurotransmitters. Like serotonin, the happiness chemical.
Exactly like serotonin. And here's the kicker. Something like 90% of your body's serotonin isn't made in your brain.
Wait, really? 90%?
Yep. It's made right there in your gut by these bacteria.
Yeah.
They also produce other key ones, like dopamine, think motivation, pleasure, and GABA, which helps you feel calm and less anxious.
So if most serotonin is made in the gut, that changes things, doesn't it? We tend to think mood issues are purely a brain thing. Are we maybe missing a big piece of the puzzle sometimes?
I think we often have, yes. The brain's crucial, obviously, but the gut is like this major factory for these mood chemicals, which then leads to the next question.
Yeah.
How do the gut and brain even talk to each other?
Right. How does the message get through?
A big part of the answer is the vagus nerve. Think of it like a massive communication highway. It runs directly between the gut and the brain.
A highway.
Yeah, a two-way street. It's constantly sending signals back and forth. Information from your gut travels up, influencing your brain, and signals from your brain travel down, affecting your gut. It influences digestion, stress response, mood. It's all connected through this nerve.
So it's a direct, constant conversation, okay? Beyond making chemicals and sending nerve signals, what else does this gut ecosystem do for our, say, emotional resilience?
Well, it also plays a huge role in controlling inflammation throughout your body.
Inflammation, how does that connect to mood?
Healthy gut bacteria help keep inflammation in check. But if the gut balance is off, you can get chronic, low-grade inflammation. And that inflammation doesn't just stay in the gut. It can affect your brain, contributing to things like brain fog, fatigue, even symptoms of depression or anxiety.
Ah, okay. So gut health impacts body-wide inflammation, which then impacts the brain.
Precisely. And there's more. The microbiome influences your stress hormones too, like cortisol. A balanced gut can help you have a healthier stress response, making you feel more stable, more able to cope.
Okay, that makes sense.
And one last really crucial piece, nutrient absorption. You could be eating the healthiest diet in the world, but if your gut isn't working properly, you might not be absorbing the nutrients sufficiently.
Like vitamins and minerals.
Exactly. Things like B vitamins, magnesium, omega-3 fatty acids, these are absolutely essential building blocks for your brain. They're needed to make those neurotransmitters we talked about, and just for overall good brain function and mental well-being. So it's not just what you eat, but what your body can actually take in and use.
That really ties it all together. It's the whole system working or not working. So let's get practical. If we want to feed our gut to boost our mood and thinking, what should we actually be eating?
Okay, good question. Let's talk about the allies, the mood-boosting foods. First up, probiotic-rich foods. These are things like yogurt, kefir, miso, sauerkraut, fermented foods. They contain live beneficial bacteria that directly add to your gut population. Think of them as reinforcements for the good guys.
So adding more helpful microbes directly. Got it.
Then, just as important, are prebiotic fibers. These are basically the food for those good bacteria already living in your gut.
Ah, okay. So probiotics are the soldiers, Prebiotics are their supplies.
That's a great way to put it. You find prebiotics in things like garlic, onions, leeks, bananas, asparagus, artichokes. They reach the colon undigested, and the good bacteria feast on them, producing beneficial compounds in return.
Makes sense. What else is on the good list?
Next, think anti-inflammatory foods. We talked about inflammation. So berries, blueberries, raspberries, leafy greens like spinach and kale, and spices, especially turmeric. These help calm down that systemic inflammation that can drag down your mood and thinking.
Turmeric is always popping up, isn't it?
It's a powerhouse. Then, omega-3 fatty acids. These are essential fats. Think chia seeds, flax seeds, walnuts. They're literally part of your brain cell structure and are directly linked to better mood and fighting depressive symptoms.
Okay, omega-3s. Important. Anything else?
And don't forget simple hydration. Foods with high water content like cucumbers, watermelons, celery, plus things like herbal teas. Being properly hydrated supports digestion, absolutely, but it also directly helps with mental clarity and focus. Even mild dehydration can make you feel irritable and tired.
Right, sometimes you just need a glass of water. That's a really helpful list of do's, but let's face it, we're often surrounded by temptations. What about the don'ts? What foods actively mess with this gut-brain balance and can make our mood worse?
Yeah, it's important to know the other side, too. Top of the list, refined sugars. Big culprit. They cause blood sugar crashes, which destabilizes mood directly. But they also feed the less desirable bacteria in your gut, potentially leading to an imbalanced dysbiosis, which messes with neurotransmitter production and fuels inflammation.
So sugar is double trouble, basically.
Pretty much. Then there's excess caffeine. A little might be fine for some, but too much can really ramp up anxiety, give you the jitters, and badly disrupt sleep. All bad news for mood.
Okay, watch the coffee intake.
Fried and greasy foods are another one. They're just hard on digestion, can promote inflammation, and often leave you feeling heavy and sluggish mentally as well as physically.
That heavy feeling, yeah.
And we should also be mindful of artificial additives, sweeteners, colors, preservatives found in many processed foods. These can disrupt the gut microbiome too. And finally, excessive alcohol. It can definitely have negative effects on gut bacteria balance and mood regulation. Limiting these really can make a noticeable difference in how you feel day to day.
It's quite a list, but it makes sense when you think about how those foods make you feel. Now, what I find really compelling is how Ayurveda seemed to understand this gut-mind link so deeply, way before we had microscopes and MRIs. How does Ayurveda frame this connection?
Ayurveda puts tremendous focus on something called Agni. You can think of it as your digestive fire, your metabolic power.
It's Agni, the fire.
Okay, it's seen as the absolute core of health, physical, mental, emotional. When your Agni is strong and balanced, digestion is smooth, you absorb nutrients well, you eliminate waste properly, and you feel energized, clear-headed, emotionally balanced. You process everything, food, thoughts, experiences efficiently.
Like a well-running engine.
Exactly. But if Agni is weak or maybe too strong or irregular, digestion gets impaired. And according to Ayurveda, this leads to the buildup of Ama is often translated as toxins or undigested metabolic waste. It's seen as the sticky, heavy substance that can clog channels in the body. And crucially, Ama isn't just physical gunk. It's believed to cloud the mind, dull the emotions, lead to feelings of heaviness, lethargy, anxiety, brain fog.
So poor digestion creates Ama, which directly impacts how you feel mentally and emotionally.
That's the Ayurvedic view, yes. It directly links digestive health to mental clarity and emotional well-being. You often hear people with, say, a Vata imbalance describe anxiety as a fluttering or nervousness in their stomach, a direct physical sensation tied to that irregular fire.
And Ayurveda also offers personalized advice based on your constitution, your dosha, right? It's not one size fits all.
Absolutely. Ayurveda suggests tailoring your diet and lifestyle to balance your specific dosha, or whatever imbalance you might be experiencing. For example, someone with a Vata imbalance, often prone to dryness, irregular digestion, anxiety, restlessness. Ayurveda would suggest warm, moist, grounding foods. Things like warm soups, stews, cooked root vegetables, maybe some healthy oils like ghee or sesame oil. Think comforting, nourishing.
Okay, grounding for Vata. What about Pitta?
A Pitta's imbalance often involves heat, think, heartburn, acid indigestion, irritability, maybe anger. So Ayurveda suggests cooling, slightly bitter, and maybe even a little astringent foods. Cucumber, cilantro, coconut, mint, leafy greens, sweet fruits, things that cool that internal fire down.
Cooling for Pitta.
And Kapha.
Kapha imbalance tends towards slowness, heaviness, sluggish digestion, maybe low mood, lethargy, congestion. Here, Ayurveda suggests foods that are light, dry, warming, and maybe a bit spicy to stimulate Agni. Think ginger tea, spicy lentil soups like mung dal, lots of vegetables, maybe using warming spices like black pepper or cinnamon. The idea is to invigorate, lighten things up. That personalized approach is so insightful. Okay, this is all fascinating, connecting the science and the ancient wisdom. For everyone listening now, wanting to actually do something with this information, what are some simple, practical steps we can start taking today to nurture our gut and improve our mood?
Great question. There are definitely some actionable things. First, maybe start a simple morning ritual, just a glass of warm water when you wake up, maybe with a squeeze of lemon. It's thought to gently wake up Agni, get the digestive system going for the day.
Simple enough? What else?
Second, really focus on mindful eating. This is huge. Put away the screens, the phone, the TV. Really pay attention to your food. Chew it well. Maybe aim for, say, 20 chews per bite if you can manage it. Pause between bites. Even just taking 3 deep breaths before you start eating can shift you into a more relaxed state, which is much better for digestion.
That sounds like it takes practice, but probably makes a big difference.
It really does. It helps your body signal fullness correctly and digest much more efficiently. Third, actively support your gut flora. Try to get some fermented foods in daily. It doesn't have to be a spoonful of sauerkraut, some kimchi, a small cup of kefir, or natural yogurt.
Okay, daily dose of probiotics.
Fourth, especially when you're feeling stressed, make a conscious effort to reduce those inflammatory foods. We talked about the sugar, the processed stuff, the fried foods. Your gut is more vulnerable during stress, so give it a break.
Good tip for stressful times.
Fifth, you could try a classic Ayurvedic tea. It's a simple blend of cumin, coriander, and fennel seeds equal parts. Just steep a teaspoon of the mix in hot water for 5–10 minutes, strain, and sip it warm, maybe between meals. It's very soothing for digestion and calming for the mind.
Cumin, coriander, fennel.
Mm-hmm.
CCFT, right.
That's the one. And finally, a really powerful but often overlooked step: consistent meal timing. Try to eat your meals around the same time each day, as much as possible. Your digestive system thrives on rhythm. Regular timing helps optimize its function, leading to better digestion and more stable energy and mood.
Consistency is key. That's a fantastic set of practical steps anyone can start with. It really hammers home that this gut-brain connection isn't just theory. It's a living reality, supported by cutting-edge science and timeless wisdom from Ayurveda. When your gut is happy, it truly resonates everywhere. Your mood gets better, you have more energy, your mind feels clearer, calmer.
So maybe a final thought for everyone listening. Next time you reach for a meal or even a snack, just pause for a second and ask yourself, is this going to feed my stress or is this going to nourish my peace?
That's a powerful question to reflect on. Thank you. This has been incredibly insightful. We really hope this gave you some valuable things to think about. If you found this helpful, please do subscribe to the Ayur Times channel so you don't miss our future conversations.
And we genuinely love to hear from you. If you have any questions or your own experiences to share about this connection, please leave a comment below.